Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. I have had a very strange couple of weeks in terms of my schedule, and so I have not done a whole lot of this recently. Today, I'm recording this on March 5th, 7:01 a.m. First time recording back in this office, this room, and just trying to get my brain back in the swing of things. Let's see. Anything to say? I don't think so. So let's talk about the first word in this episode, which is the second form of Ethiopic, which you could also say Ethiopic. Capital Ethiopic. Noun from 1677. Number one, a Semitic language. A Semitic language formerly spoken in Ethiopia and still used as the liturgical language of the Christian Church in Ethiopia. So, what language do they speak now? I assume it's Ethiopian, but I don't know, Ethiopic. Should we remind ourselves about the previous word? This one, Ethiopic or Ethiopic, is just Ethiopian, or relating to Ethiopic, relating to constituting Semitic languages spoken in Ethiopia. So I guess this is just a very specific version of, I don't know, it's very confusing to me. Semitic, I only have the vaguest idea of what Semitic means, so we'll learn about that in the S's. Number two is the Ethiopic or Ethiopic group of Semitic languages. And then in the previous form, it said relating to or constituting a group of related Semitic languages spoken in Ethiopia. Okay. So yeah, that's Ethiopic or Ethiopic. The sound effect today is going to be bo bo bo. The next word is ethmoid. Ethmoid. It is spelled like it sounds. Noun from 1842. This is a light, spongy, cubical bone forming much of the walls of the nasal cavity and part of those of the orbits. And I believe the orbits are that's the bone area around the eye, because it's makes a big old circle around your eye hole. It's orbits around. I think that's what it is. The orbital bone, something. So this ethmoid, a light, spongy, cubical bone. So it's a bone, but it's spongy, so it's not cartilage, and it's light, forming much of the walls of the nasal cavity. So if you go inside your nose, inside there's a cavity in there, and for me, it's often filled with snot or congested, or is running for some reason. And so the formation of that cavity is made from this ethmoid. Ooh, I'm going to need to see a picture of this. Might need to put that on social media. And then also, because it is so close to the eyes, part of the walls of it also make up these orbits. So yeah, it must be just in this nose, under the eyes area. If you look at the video, I'm putting my hand all over my face. So ethmoid or ethmoidal is an adjective. Ethmoidal. That's how it should be said, right? Ethmoidal. This is from the Greek ethmoides, which is literally like a strainer. Like a strainer. From ethmos, which means strainer. So maybe because it is spongy, maybe they were like, you could strain stuff. You could strain your pasta in this ethmoid, spongy, light bone. Cubical bone. Because it's connected to the nasal cavity, is it literally straining things? Are there things literally going through it? I don't know. Is my brain dripping through this ethmoid bone into my nasal cavity, into my nostrils, and then out of my nose? Bow, bow, bow. The next word is ethnic. We're filled with ethnic and ethno-related words through the rest of this episode. So there's interesting conversations, maybe. The first form of ethnic is an adjective from The 15th century. Number one. Oh, we're starting off great. The synonym is heathen. What is it? The 15th century. Boy, things were surely different then. Okay, number 2A. Of or relating to large groups of people classed according to common racial, national, tribal, religious, linguistic, or cultural origin or background, as in ethnic minorities, also as in ethnic enclaves. Okay, let's do a quick little breakdown. Let's use the example ethnic minorities. So these are people who are the minority population in a group, whatever that group is, and they are, let's see, large groups of people classed according to common. So these minorities, maybe there's 3 separate groups of these minorities, right off the bat, if we're gonna talk real bluntly, America is probably mostly white people, but then there's also, what are we calling, we're calling minorities. I don't know if that's the greatest term. It's all relative to the population. So if there are less people of this group, then they are considered a minority. But if you total up all the minorities, they are way more than the majority. So, there's people of Asian descent and Africa and Europe and South America, Central America, all over the place. But there are less of those individual groups than white people. Okay, so yes, they have common racial backgrounds, national backgrounds, tribal backgrounds, religious backgrounds, linguistic backgrounds, and I think it's great, personally, that this country has been made up of immigrants. I don't like the fact that we largely got rid of the people who are already here, but the fact that people can come from all over the place and theoretically have freedom here is great. From all different ethnic backgrounds, but we still have problems. And there are people who don't like that, who don't want people to be coming. They don't realize that they are an immigrant, that their families are immigrants. Okay, maybe we're getting down a path too much. Okay, we're talking about ethnic. Okay, so those were large groups of people with all those different common situations. To be, this is being a member of a specified ethnic group, as in an ethnic German. And I think that this word ethnic has a lot of connotations, but it's really just about, you have a common, all these things, common racial, national, tribal, religious, linguistic, cultural origins or backgrounds with a specific group. So that is your ethnicity. We'll get to that word soon. So you're a member of a specific group, so you're a member of the German group, so you're an ethnic German. Okay, 2C is of, relating to, or characteristic of ethnics with an S, as in ethnic neighborhoods and ethnic foods. Yeah, this word has a lot behind it, and people put negative things on it, and I don't think it's not always meant to be negative, but it can be used that way, which is not great. So, ethnic neighborhoods, those would be neighborhoods of people who, why are we calling them ethnic? Because they have these ethnic minorities, because they are made up of a group of people who all have these similar backgrounds. And then ethnic foods, foods that are part of this common background, but what's breaking my brain is I think the connotation is it's different from the majority culture in that area, in that group, right? Like that's sort of how I automatically think of it. Because why are you calling it ethnic foods? It's just food. But yeah, it's okay. Okay, let's look at the etymology. Maybe that's going to help us. Because this is from the Greek ethnikos, which means national or Gentile, from ethnos, which means nation or people, akin to the Greek ethos, which means custom, and there's more at the word sib, S-I-B. So, yeah, the idea is that it's anything that's considered ethnic has a group related to it, a cultural background, language background, whatever it is. It's all part of a nation, a national group of people. But yeah, I think it gets used in odd ways, maybe. Okay, well, I think that's fine for that. Now we got to move on to the second form of ethnic, which is a noun from 1941, and this is a member of an ethnic group. So I guess technically you can say that person is an ethnic because they are a part of an ethnic group, but everybody's an ethnic, so nobody is an ethnic. And then especially a member of a minority group who retains the customs, language, or social views of the group. That's the thing that I was thinking about when I was talking about earlier. Remember when I was talking earlier? That part over there? That's the whole idea is, oh, you're ethnic. You are an ethnic. You're part of that ethnic group because you are different than the majority of this area, this population, this country. You are different. That's the part that stings. You're saying that you're different, and you know you're different. I don't know what to say about this. Like, what is there a better word? This word just has so many connotations, cultural, decades and decades old connotations. So I don't know. It's a little tough to talk about. I'm sure that some people who are not me have very smarter things to say about this. Yep. But we know from the dictionary that the basic meaning is just you're part of that group. That's your ethnic group. You are an ethnic German, an ethnic Icelander, an ethnic New Zealander, whatever it is. Okay. There's no additional etymology. Let's see how deep, how many more stupid things can Spencer say in the rest of this episode. Because the next word is ethnical. Adjective from the 15th century. The first definition, the synonym is ethnic, which would be just the first form of ethnic. It had all those definitions. So yeah, ethnic, ethnical. You're describing something as ethnic, I guess. 2, of or relating to ethnology, and the synonym is ethnologic, and we're going to get to ethnology soon. Ethnically is an adverb. I don't think people are really using ethnical very much. Next is, this is a thing that has to be discussed, at least briefly. Ethnic cleansing. 2 words. Noun from 1991. The expulsion, imprisonment, or killing of an ethnic minority by a dominant majority in order to achieve ethnic homogeneity. I mean, where to even begin? What even to say about this? What I am curious about is what happened in 1991 that this was coined. I can do a quick little search because I have all of the world's knowledge at my fingertips. Croatia. Yeah, okay. In 1991 and 1992, as Croatia's military fought Yugoslavia's military, Croat and Serb civilians in both realms undertook campaigns of ethnic cleansing, which is efforts by one ethnic political or religious group to rid certain geographic areas of another such group through coercion and violence. It's kind of surprising that this term didn't exist until 1991. but clearly the idea, the actions behind it, had been in place for who knows how long. The majority is trying to get rid of the minority for whatever reason. I don't like this. Poopy on you, ethnic cleansing. Bump, bump, bump. Next is ethnicity. Noun from 1950. Number one, ethnic quality or affiliation, as in aspects of ethnicity. What are your aspects of ethnicity? What are the qualities that you have that make you part of an ethnic group? So many things. So many things. Well, we talked about, the racial. I mean, race is a whole other weird conversation, but race, color of the skin, your religion, what do you believe, your what's your culture like? What are the things that you do? Your language. Yeah, those are the aspects of your ethnicity. Two is a particular ethnic affiliation or group, as in students of diverse ethnicities. It's just another way to use the word ethnic, just in a different form. Is that the right way? It's a noun. Yeah, okay. Boom, boom, boom. Next, we have the prefix ethno. So we're going to have a bunch of words into the next episode with this prefix. So it means race or people or cultural group, as in ethnocentric, which I think is coming up. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So with cultural group, race, people, yeah, it's all based on that same etymology that we had for the word ethnic, which was all about the nation, the people, national, Gentile. I don't know enough about the word Gentile. I think that one has there's a lot more going on than I probably realize with that word. So that's what you think about when you see the ethno prefix: race, people, cultural group. Boop, boop, boop. Next is ethnobiology. Noun from 1940. This is the interdisciplinary study of how human cultures interact with and use their native plants and animals. Ethnobiological is an adjective. Ethnobiologist is a noun. And there's no additional etymology. So it's, it says it right there. That's done. We don't need to talk about it more. No, I feel like we should briefly say, it's each culture. The first ones that I thought of are a fictional group of people called the planet is Pandora, and they are the Na'vi. And they have some really interesting ethnobiology because they can literally plug in to the other animals, and I think some of the plants too. They can literally plug their system into another system, and they have this special kind of connection that we humans don't get to have. We don't get to experience that. So, ethnobiologists studying the Na'vi, they've got a big job ahead of them. I think was Sigourney Weaver's character, would she have been considered an ethnobiologist? I feel like she was a doctor something. Maybe she was. Studying how a specific group uses their plants, maybe for medicine, for food, how they interact with the animals. Do they have a symbiotic relationship? Are the humans just killing all the animals? What's that situation like? Bum, bum, bum. Ethnobotany, noun from 1890. The plant lore. The plants have lore. The plant lore of indigenous cultures. Also, the systematic study of such lore. Ethnobotanical. Ethnobotanical is an adjective. Ethnobotanist is a noun. So it's interesting that they use the word lore, like, you think about any indigenous culture. That's what we're talking about here. They have thousands of years of living in an area before this whole industrialization and I can't think of the right word. The people coming in to murder them, let's put that bluntly. Before all that stuff, they have been living with these plants, and so they have a special relationship. They have a special ethnobiology, but this is specifically about the plants, so it's ethnobotany, and they have stories of why the plants are the way the plants are, especially when it comes to medicinal plants. Yeah, there's all this lore behind it, and then of course, if you're studying that, then you would be probably an ethnobotanist, studying the botany of a specific ethnic group. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Ethnocentric, adjective from 1900. Characterized by or based on the attitude that one's own group is superior. And then if you feel that, you might also be interested in doing some ethnic cleansing, but I would highly suggest that you don't do that and that you also don't think that your own group is superior, because you know what? It's not. None of them are superior to any of the other ones. They are all friggin' equal across the board, and there's no reason that you should ever think that your own group is better than another one. It makes no logical sense whatsoever, and stop thinking this nonsense. Ethnocentricity is a noun. Ethnocentrism is also a noun. The etymology is right there. You are thinking that your own ethnic group is the center of the universe. I just can't grasp that thought process. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Ethnography. There we go. Ethnography. Noun from 1834. This is the study and systematic recording of human cultures, also a descriptive work produced from such research. There's a lot of cultures out there that we don't know about, or that we didn't know about. And so if, it's kind of a weird thing to be like, well, maybe these people don't want to be known. Maybe they just want to live their happy lives, not be known to anybody else. But then other humans are like, I want to go learn about them. I'm going to go in and I'm going to put myself in their situation, and I'm going to learn their language and eat their food and do all this stuff and record them. Is this audio recording, video recording? I mean, I just can't not think about somebody coming in with all this technology possibly to a group that maybe isn't used to it. In this 21st century, in 2024, we're a quarter of the way into the 21st century. How many groups are there on the planet that are still so separated from modern life? There's probably a few, but I feel like it's definitely not much. So it's studying all the groups in the world. I mean, we're not specifying any type of group. It's just, hey, I want to go learn about that country. I'm going to go do some ethnography, and maybe part of that is ethnobiology and ethnobotany. Okay, what did I say? Ethnographer is a noun. Ethnographic or ethnographical, that is an adjective, and ethnographically, that is an adverb. Oh, you went to that group and did your work ethnographically. Let's see. Yep, no real specific etymology. So we're already on the last word. Bump, bump, bump. The last word is ethnohistory. 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 Noun from 1943. This is a study of the development of cultures. So not just what are the cultures like, but specifically how they have developed. Why are they the way they are? What happened before that? What happened before that? What's their history? How do you learn that? You got to talk to the people. It's probably a lot of oral history, at least in some groups, and then other ones, they might have it all written down. Ethnohistorian is a noun. Ethnohistoric or ethnohistorical, those are adjectives. It's, the history of an ethnic group. And, yep, we got some more interesting words in the next episode related to ethnic groups. So now we have to pick a word of the episode, and I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to try. Today we had Ethiopic, ethmoid, ethnic, ethnical, ethnic cleansing, ethnicity, ethno, ethnobiology, ethnobotany, ethnocentric, ethnography, ethnohistory, and that's the last one. Let's see. I mean, I definitely don't want to pick ethnic cleansing. The biology, the botany, the graphy, the history, those are all studying ethnic groups, all sort of the same, similar concept. Definitely also don't want to pick ethnocentric. I mean, we could just pick the prefix ethno. That could be interesting because that covers a wide range of things. Maybe we'll do that. I mean, the ethnoid bone, the ethmoid bone sounds very interesting. Let's just pick the ethno prefix. I gotta do a song. Look at this whole thing again. Ethno, it's about a specific group of people. Ethno, people are ethno. Oh, I don't know what happened to the end. It died. I should have stopped it. Okay. Let's now talk about a movie or a couple that I watched, because that's what happens at the end of a podcast about words. It's a podcast about movies. I watched Barbie again. I was flying home from my very brief trip into Twin Peaks land, where I did sing I'm Just Ken at karaoke. Okay, it was okay. And then I was like, I watched a couple of movies on the plane. I'll watch Barbie again, because why not? And then I watched War for the Planet of the Apes, which I had not seen. I mean, this has been out for a number of years now, and I hadn't gotten around to it, and I was very disappointed in myself. And I borrowed my friend's Blu-ray, and because I'm getting ready, the new one is coming out soon, and so I had to get caught up. And I might need to rewatch the other ones too, the other new ones. And it's just fun to see how they're just filling in the story of the Planet of the Apes. And obviously, there's a lot of there's a lot of ethnocentrism in this story. That's for sure. Yeah. Anyway, the Planet of the Apes series is amazing. And my sister and her partner and my niece have watched the entire series in a pretty short amount of time. And I have a lot of work to do on that front. Okay, that's the end of this episode. Thank you very much for listening and watching on YouTube. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.